For every enthusiastic fan of his signature bleached blonde spikes, there's a culinary critic ready to lob harsher critiques than a perfectly fried chicken sandwich. Here's a look at 6 chefs who can't get enough of Guy Fieri, and 5 who aren't quite as impressed. It's hardly shocking that 2 larger-than-life Italian celebrity chefs hit it off. Guy Fieri and Buddy Valastro even have restaurants practically neighbors in Las Vegas. Guy Fieri's Vegas kitchen and bar sits not far from Buddy V's Ristorante.
A lot of people don't know this, but the cake boss can cook.
In 2020, Buddy Valastro joined an episode of Guy's Grocery Games as a guest judge, and their on-screen rapport quickly became a highlight of the show. The following year, Valastro stopped by Guy Fieri's Vegas kitchen and bar, sharing a heartwarming father and son-style lunch photo on Instagram that showcased their genuine friendship. When Guy Fieri names you one of his favorite chefs, you know there's mutual respect in the mix. Benny Lin runs Pagoda in North Pole, yes, North Pole, Alaska, serving up top-notch Chinese-American dishes with a focus on fresh local seafood. He's been featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives multiple times, sometimes highlighting Pagoda and other times visiting different eateries alongside Fieri. Their connection extends beyond the camera, too. In 2015, Fieri shared a photo of the pair hiking with Chef Aristo of Aristo's Greek restaurant. Fieri's friendship with Lin perfectly reflects his core mission, celebrating standout restaurants in unexpected places and putting them on the culinary map.
Oh, Benny. Oh, what I'm talking about.
Well done, Guy.
Calling Richard Blais a frequent guest on Guy's Grocery Games barely scratches the surface.
It's time to get blazed.
He served as a judge on numerous episodes and even competed on the show several times, with mixed results. Blais openly talks about his friendship with Fieri in interviews, showing appreciation for the connection. Already established as a top-tier TV chef, he clearly values the mentorship and camaraderie that comes with knowing Fieri. Chef Carl Ruiz's passing seemed to hit the TV world hardest through Guy Fieri. Ruiz first gained national attention thanks to Fieri when his Italian deli, Marie's, was featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives in 2013. That was just the start. Between 2016 and 2020, Ruiz appeared on an impressive 64 episodes of Guy's Grocery Games. He began as a contestant, winning so frequently that Fieri eventually brought him on as a regular judge.
I've been cooking with Carl Ruiz for years. Awesome chef. And I've been telling him, you gotta open your own joint.
After Ruiz's sudden passing, Fieri shared numerous tributes celebrating his friend's legacy. He also launched a tipping campaign in Ruiz's honor, urging people to leave generous tips at local restaurants as a way to carry forward his spirit. In 2023, the New York Post covered a meeting between Guy Fieri and Marc Marrone at Marrone's Salt Lake City restaurant, Italian Graffiti. Afterward, Marrone told the Post how much he admired Fieri's energy and his genuine respect for every member of the kitchen staff. Later that year, Fieri joined Marrone for a cooking demonstration during NBA All-Star Weekend. Once Fieri connects with fellow chefs, he consistently goes above and beyond to support them in multiple ways. Not only does Brooke Williamson frequently collaborate with Fieri on food television, but she also credits him with a piece of guidance that reshaped her culinary approach. The moment happened while she was judging on Guy's Grocery Games. Accustomed to competing rather than critiquing, she admitted that judging felt unfamiliar. Fieri advised her to slow down when delivering feedback, giving contestants more time to absorb and act on her critiques. Williamson called it the best advice she's ever received, noting that she still applies it today. She shared with Mashed, "The people who you're judging, I've been in their shoes, and they're pouring their heart out in a very uncomfortable situation to present something of their craft to you. They deserve nothing less than for their critique to be thoughtful and well thought out." Williamson clearly excels under the competitive formats of Fieri's shows, taking home the win in the first season of Tournament of Champions. Fieri even described her as, quote, "the fiercest competitor in the culinary battlefield. Intense competition is the heart of food TV. And while many chefs have found a kindred spirit in Fieri, the next 5 never quite warmed up to his larger-than-life hosting style." One of the leading figures behind the acclaimed Top Chef franchise, Tom Collichio had already built an impressive culinary career before stepping into the TV spotlight. With such different backgrounds, it's not surprising that Collichio and Fieri approach food television with distinct styles and sensibilities. Collichio didn't hold back when discussing Guy's Grocery Games either. During an appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, he openly questioned how the show even got the green light from producers.
That groceries thing, that Guy's Grocery thing, is just hilarious. I always say to myself, how did that get made?
To be fair, Andy Cohen set him up with the question, And Collichio made it clear he found the show entertaining, but he still emphasized his genuine astonishment at how it ever made it to production.
I want to hear that pitch. Like, we're going to go to a supermarket, we're going to run around the store, and we're going to cook food. Okay, great.
David Chang is a classically trained chef and restaurateur whose shows, like The Mind of a Chef and Ugly Delicious, explore travel and regional culinary traditions. While Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives also has a travel component, Chang feels it falls short. At the 2009 New York Food and Wine Festival, Chang didn't hold back in criticizing Fieri's on-screen persona. His main issue was that Fieri relied on flashy presentation to capture attention, rather than letting the food take center stage. Chang even joked that if he ever started dressing like Fieri, he'd want someone to, quote, throw me down the stairs. Their differences stem from contrasting culinary worlds. Chang honed his craft at Momofuku Noodle Bar in Manhattan's fiercely competitive restaurant scene, while Fieri built his career directly on the Food Network. It's no wonder the two have often been at odds. Food Network personalities throwing shade at each other? Surprisingly, yes. Alton Brown broke the unspoken network code during a 2017 DragonCon panel. While promoting the return of Good Eats, he couldn't resist poking fun at just how much airtime Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives gets, remarking, essentially in order to make room for the show on Food Network, they're gonna have to cut Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives down to 7.5 hours a day. He followed up by jokingly suggesting that Fieri was monopolizing the network's schedule. While said in jest, there was a kernel of truth. There was a period when Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives seemed to be on Food Network almost constantly. At his peak, Mario Batali was a culinary powerhouse, celebrated as both an authority on Italian cuisine and an iron chef. It makes sense that he might view someone whose fame comes primarily from TV as less serious. On a 2016 episode of ABC's The Chew, Batali critiqued Anthony Bourdain's dish preparation and slipped in a subtle dig at Fieri.
This is a dump and stir?
Cook it truly, and you
Guy
cook
Fieri
this.
could make this dish.
Oh, that's so cruel, man. So cruel.
Batali arguably would have been better off worrying less about Fieri's culinary chops and more about his own actions. In 2017, he faced multiple sexual misconduct allegations that quickly derailed his career. And that brings us to Anthony Bourdain.
Guy Fieri's tweet that he was on his way to a Nickelback concert. That was like the funniest thing. Of course.
Guy Fieri's most notorious critic was Anthony Bourdain. Bourdain was unapologetically vocal about his belief that Fieri's style didn't reflect the best of the culinary world, and he was equally critical of Fieri's role as an authority on American cuisine on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. In 2012, during an appearance on the Sirius XM program, The Opie and Anthony Show, Bourdain tore into Fieri's New York City restaurant, Guy's American Kitchen and Bar, labeling it a terror dome and mocking everything from menu prices to the atmosphere, while also taking jabs directly at Fieri himself.
I'll tell you, that guy is set back spelling, like two decades.
Oh. The barbs went back and forth for years, mostly from Bourdain, though Fieri did fire back on occasion. At one point, Fieri accused Bourdain of letting snobbery drive his disdain. During a 2012 roast of Bourdain, Fieri remarked, "Anthony, I gotta ask a question. Why do you hate me so much, brother? Is it because you went to a fancy culinary school and I didn't? I hear you're the only one in class who did most of his cooking with a spoon and a Bic lighter." Then, in 2015, when GQ asked Fieri about Bourdain's jabs, he admitted he was honestly baffled by it all, saying, "It's actually disappointing. I don't like him making fun of people, and I don't like him talking and he's never talked to my face. I know he's definitely gotta have issues, because the average person doesn't behave that way." The rivalry never fully settled, and when Anthony Bourdain died in 2018, Fieri chose to remain silent.